Hello all, welcome to my channel. I'm Rajivpujala. In this video, let's talk about the timestamp and let's see the different functions that what timestamp do offers to us. What is a timestamp? The timestamp function is a in BigQuery is used to convert a date time or a string value into timestamp values. This can be useful when working with different time formats or if you need to convert dates and times into the universal time format, timestamp format, which includes both the time and the date with time zone information. Too much of theory, right? And also, let's quickly look into like what exactly I'm going to cover in this video. So, we'd like to see like what is a timestamp and what is I mean, how to add the values and how to separate the values and how to find the differences and what is a bucket. This is an interesting one. And the trunk we already have seen this one. Basically, it is nothing but the rounding of the value. So how to convert the time into the micros or the millis or the seconds. Let's go ahead and let's see. Okay, I'm going to start with timestamp. So this is for the timestamp. So select timestamp of example 2024 12 21 12 30 12 as timestamp value. What is this one? Right, you can see that it has generated the value, the data of this one. That's it. I mean, if in case if you would like to ensure that the data type should be like date time, so let's have the date time. Let's add it over here. Okay, that's cool. And so if you can add something like this one, and then sure, Kolkata. So if you would like to have this in our time zone, so if you run this one, so it will I mean, for this one, what is, I mean, if the time in UTC is 12:30, so in the India it will be like 7 o'clock. So right now I don't want this one, so I just would like to mention like date time format. That's it. Let's run this one. I would like to have this original time whatever I mentioned over here. This is the timestamp. Now let's add some time to this timestamp and let's see. Okay, so let's see the add. I would like to convert. Okay, let's take a new tab. Timestamp add. Okay, with data as select timestamp. Or we can also take this one. Let's add timestamp. Mm, so date time 2024 12 17 12 27 00. Okay, as today's date, right? So select star from data. Okay, now let's add a few values here. So timestamp add. Let's add 2 hours. So today's date. Okay, I would like to add interval of 2 hours. Interval 2 hour as hours. Let's run this one. So it's 12 over here and it is 14. So this is good. So the concept is same, but here instead of time, we have the timestamp. So basically timestamp is nothing but it gives everything like an hour, seconds, time, date and everything. Timestamp, add today's date, interval, 3 minutes as minutes. Okay, let's also do the same. Timestamp, add today's date, interval, 30 second as seconds. Okay, let's also add day. Timestamp add today's date, interval, 1 day as days, and then timestamp add today's date, interval, 1 week as weeks, and also timestamp add today's date. Okay, spelling mistake. Interval, 1 month as months, timestamp add today's date interval one quarter. This is the first time we are adding quarter. So timestamp add. So we call these are like day units actually, date time units. Okay, today's date interval 1 year as year. Okay, let's run this one. Hmm. Okay, it doesn't support the week. It seems okay. Let's do this one. Let's run this one. Hmm. Okay, let's delete all of this and let's run this one. There it go. You can see the data here, just reflecting. Okay, cool. Let's take a look at time timestamp subtract. So basically, it's the opposite of timestamp add over here. So what happened earlier? What was the issue? Basically, we converted here the timestamp. So instead of timestamp, I would like to have only date time here because when we are adding quarter, because here it is a timestamp, it is not allowing us to do. So let's correct in this timestamp sub with data as select date time of 2024 12 22 12 31 22 as time. Okay, today's date. Okay, select star from data. Okay, now let's do this one timestamp difference. Sorry, subtraction of timestamp. See now here we didn't mention the timestamp over here. That's the reason I'm adding timestamp here. Today's date. Okay, and I would like to add interval 1 hour as hour. So basically, what this does, this reduces 1 hour timestamp sub expected end of. Okay, comma here. Okay, so it is 12:31 and it's 11:31. Let's do the same timestamp sub timestamp of today's date. So let's add interval 30 minutes, 30 minute as minutes. Okay, now timestamp sub timestamp today's date interval 40 second as seconds. Timestamp sub timestamp today's date interval 1 day as days. So let's also do this one. Timestamp sub timestamp today's date interval 1 week as weeks. Okay, let's run this one. The timestamp separation does not support the week date part. Okay, let's delete this one. Let's run this one. It's a lesson for me and for you as well. That only supports until the day. So this is also looking good. And let's go ahead and let's see the time stamp difference. Okay, with data as select date time 2024 12 17 2027 00 as one date time of 2020. Let's take to 2023 12 17 19 27. Let's take 00 stroke 0 99 as another date. Cool. Now let's do this one. Select start from data. So basically, this returns the value. Okay, let's do the timestamp difference. timestamp difference of one date, another date. I want a hour as hour. Let's run this one quickly. Yeah, there it go. So the timestamp, I mean, how many hours? 875. Okay, let's do this one. Let's keep like 2024 only. It's like 1 hour. Okay, cool. So timestamp difference one date, comma another date, comma minute as minutes. Timestamp difference one date, another date, second as seconds. Timestamp difference one date, another date. Let's take a day as days. Timestamp difference one date, another date, like week. Let's see whether this works or not for the weeks. Yeah, this is timestamp difference. It is giving the difference between the weeks as well, which is really good. And then timestamp difference one date, another date. Let's see what else we have. Month as months, and timestamp difference one date, another date. Quarter as quarters. Yeah, you can see quarters. And timestamp difference one day, another date. Now what else we do have? Year as years. Okay, maybe probably what we can do, let it be like 2023. Now we can see all the data over here, there, how many differences and all. And now let's go ahead and let's see the timestamp bucket. This is the first time we are going to deal about the buckets. So the timestamp bucket function in BigQuery is used to group timestamp values into specified time intervals buckets. This function is helpful for aggregation and analysis, where you want to organize data into predefined time intervals such as hourly, daily, weekly. Okay, too much of theory. Let's quickly jump into this one. Select date time 2024 12:17. Let's take 8:27 p.m. Okay, as one day. Fine. Now select start from data. Okay, cool. Let's do this one. Timestamp bucket one day interval. I would like to have 1 second as second. Okay, it's almost same. So let it be like 15 here, 15 seconds. Okay, no changes because it's something we already know. Timestamp. Let's see the other buckets. Bucket one day interval 2 minute as minutes. Okay, let's run this one and let's see what the output it generates. You can see over here. So whatever the current value 27:15, so it is going to generate the time. So based on 2 minutes bucket, like intervals. Okay, like this is going to like 26, and then it will generate 28, or previously 24, 22. So current time minus 2 minutes or plus 2 minutes. That's how it differences gives a value. Okay, let's see the timestamp. So this is like a bucket. It works on the intervals. One day interval 1 hour has hours. Let's look at this one. Okay, now you can see here it is like, so basically 8 is the hour and it rounds up the value. So basically what it does now, it's gonna take like 80, I mean 8, 9, 10, 20, 21, 22 as like the intervals. Similarly this works. Okay, this is getting more and more time, so I'm just making it as like quickly day as days, and month as month, and I would like to have quarter as quarters, and I would like to have year as years. Let's run this one. So basically, what it does, it takes into the buckets and it gives the data as per the bucket, so that whenever you're preparing the dashboards, it would be very easy for you with this way. Okay, and then let's talk about timestamp truncate. We already know how what is the truncate. So basically, it rounds up the value with the data as select date time 20 24 12 17 20 27 45 as day or one day, maybe we can. Okay, select start from data. Now let's see timestamp truncate one day. I would like to have second as second. So second will not do anything. Let's have one more timestamp trunk one day. However, has hours. Can see now it's gonna truncate both the minutes and the seconds. Let's have timestamp truncate of one day minute as minutes. So let's do this one day as days, week as week, month, month, quarter. I know this is one of the boring topics to discuss, but believe me, guys, so this is like very helpful. If you understand, if you can master yourself in the timestamps and times, dates, and all, so you can you can seamlessly handle the data. And last three more topics, which is timestamp, micros. So basically, if you have, I mean, the timestamp macros function in BigQuery is used to convert a microsecond based integer value into timestamp. So, for example, if you have value something like this one, select timestamp. If you have like micros, I'm not sure why do we have macros and millis and you know values in. Okay, let me take one of the values, micros. Okay, I'm copying from it. ChatGPT 160 9459 200000000 as converted timestamp. Okay, let's run this one and let's see what it will generate. So this is a micro value and it will generate a specific date. Okay, this has generated 2480. Maybe let's remove 110. 2021, this one you can see. And then let's also converted micros into timestamp. Let's also see something like a timestamp millis. So timestamp millis, the organization where I am working, we basically do have these kind of values more as converted millis into timestamp. And also let's do the same for seconds, timestamp second. So I'm taking the same value and gonna reduce three zeros as converted seconds into time step. Okay, this is how we handle the timestamp values. So basically, we have seen how to deal with dates, time and dates, and timestamps, etc. So this would be enough for you to go ahead and handle the time and date values. Now, in the upcoming videos, I'm going to talk about cast functions, and also the format functions. And let's also look at the joins as well. Thank you for watching my videos. I wish you happy good learning.